on to NHL and Major League Baseball and all kinds of stuff.
I have to be honest, it's not just the officiating that is upsetting me. And for those of you that follow me on Facebook, you heard some of my rants yesterday. I'm just disgusted with the quality of the product on the field through and through. The play calling, the players themselves, the officiating. I don't know what I'm watching anymore. I really don't. It's a circus. It's an absolute circus.
Well, that's a great lead into Lance. It's a circus.
I'll give you a perfect example. You know, those of us that are here in Las Vegas, I'm a big Patriots fan. You guys know that we were watching the Patriots-Jets game yesterday. Now, mind you, I had told you all week long that the bet of the week was the Jets plus 10 points. Did I not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you were talking about also the over on the Jaguars game,
which came in not as easily as I would have liked. So, yeah, that was my other 5-star play, right? Over under 42. They scored 38 points in the first half, and they made me sweat out the second half by scoring 6. But let me go back to the New England game. This is a big game, division rivals, good football. Both teams tied atop the AFC East, so there's a lot on the line here with the win. Patriots on the road as 10-point favorites. Jets come out and basically kick them right in the shins out of the gate. They go up 14-0. Brady's not looking great. Jets are all fired up, playing with a lot more energy. Patriots eventually come back. They tie it going into halftime. Second half, New England takes a 7-point lead. And here's where the game gets a little out of control. And we were talking about this. They hit their tight end for a 5-yard dump-off. He rumbles and bumbles into the end zone with 3 defenders on him. Falls to the ground, holding the ball, comes up with the ball, and it's called a touchdown, like we all saw on TV.
Sure.
And as they do in the NFL now, every scorer is always reviewed. So you get these little Muppets with their striped shirts and whistles getting on the phone with more Muppets in New York to go over the play, and this is what they come back with. The player didn't have control of the ball crossing the goal line. It was deemed a fumble, and as such, New England, not only does a touchdown come off the board, New England gets the ball on their own 20 as though it's a touchback.
And we're Patriot fans.
And we're
too.
Patriot fans.
Right.
And I'm going, hold on. He may not have had control crossing the goal line, but the ball never hit the ground. A defender never touched it, and the player came up with the ball with control. If anything, the touchdown comes off the board. You give the Jets first and goal on the 1-yard line.
Absolutely. How was that ruled a fumble?
I still don't understand it.
Don't get it. And that was not the only call this weekend. I was almost sick into my stomach. Not only because I'm a 49er fan and they're 0-6 now, but Pierre Garçon went up for a beautiful catch, 2 feet in, and they somehow ruled it an offensive
pass interference.
Offensive pass interference.
I see more offensive PI this year than ever before. And unless the player is, like, you could almost see his arm extending off of the defender, there should be no offensive PI.
Hence, that actually gave us that opportunity to potentially win the game.
And took it off the
Wasn't
board.
guaranteed win, but we had that chance in field goal range, and we lost our moment.
You have momentum, you're driving, you're 0-5, you're trying to get your first win of the season, and then the refs and the little whistles decide the outcome of the game.
Now, when he went into the end zone, was he a runner at that point, or was he still trying to catch the ball?
No, he had already caught it easily, had turned, was dragging 3 guys with him into the end zone, and bobbled it for a minute when he crossed and fell on his back and rolled over.
I thought once you crossed that plane, then it's a touchdown.
We all did, Lance.
We did.
We all did. The rules now are so... I don't know what the rules are anymore. It used to be just the nose of the ball had to cross the goal line. It's a touchdown.
Okay, here's the rule I want now. Here's what's upsetting me. What upsets me is these are the most shameful penalties they are, and they are the unsportsmanlike conduct on scoring plays. And the offense does it and the defense does it. When the guy scores a touchdown, sometimes it's not enough just to score the touchdown. Now he's got to point at the defender and grab his behind or do something
after the touchdown.
After the touchdown, and he gets a flag. So what happens is the ref says, unsportsmanlike conduct. That's a 15-yard penalty. That'll be assessed on the kickoff.
Correct.
Well, guess what? The players don't care because the kickers are so good. They know
they're going to kick it out anyways, right?
It's no penalty.
Right.
So and now kids are watching this, right?
Yeah.
You remember a couple weeks ago when there was a big fight with the high school football players here in Las Vegas?
Yeah, the dad's emptied the...
It's because these kids and the parents are watching these professional players. So here's my solution. You give them the 15-yard penalty if they do it on a scoring play, but you don't assess it on the kickoff. you assess it on the play after the kickoff.
Good point.
So now, let's say if a wide receiver takes it in for a touchdown and does something stupid afterwards, so now his kicker is going to kick it off to the team, and now let's say he kicks it through, comes out to the 25. Now you assess the 15-yard penalty. So now it comes out to the 40. Now the head coach is going to go to that wide receiver and say, "Hey, you just cost us."
Yeah.
Yeah, and the same for the defensive play. So that's my suggestion: is just instead of assessing that penalty on the kickoff, assess it after the kickoff.
Well, here's the other thing they have now in the NFL, which, growing up, we loved watching guys do their little dance in the end zone
Sure.
after touchdowns.
Right.
Now it's deemed excessive celebration.
Right. Well,
And if you have a big hit on a guy and you stand over him, now you're taunting. I'm assuming that falls under the bullying rules that this country's
But they
obsessed with.
eased it up this year. They're letting them do things in the celebration this year than they
Not
were.
as much. Well,
like the duck, duck, goose.
Yeah,
with the
some of
Eagles
them I don't
yeah.
understand.
I like that.
I don't
Yeah,
get
I don't
that either.
understand. Let the guy do a little dance. I don't know. I don't understand a lot
when
of
I was
these.
growing up in the 80s, Howie Long was a monster linebacker, okay? He used to eat quarterbacks. And I had a poster in my room of Howie eating quarterback cereal because he would just devour them.
Right, exactly.
So yesterday I saw a defensive player who had a big play and he got up and he just went eating it like this. And I thought it was great.
I don't know what happened to the NFL.
It used to be fun.
And it used to be fun. Now we're overthinking every play. We've got, and I got to throw this out.
And you're someone who's worked in the NFL for
Absolutely.
a lot of years.
For 7 years, I've worked in the NFL and have been involved thereafter for many years, still am today. But now we're thinking about everything. We can't just play the game. We've got these other factors that
It's
are
ridiculous.
coming in.
It's ridiculous. It's too much.
On our Sundays.
It's not fun to watch anymore.
Yeah,
Every
unfortunately.
play has a flag. There's replays on everything. Let's go to the play calling now, okay? The defending NFC champion, Atlanta Falcons, are at home this week on a break, okay? They're not having a great season.
Okay.
They're at home against the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, my goodness. And you're thinking this is going to be a...
They jump out, I think they're 11-point favorites, 12-point favorites, I don't know. They jump out to a 17-0 lead going into halftime. They come out in the second half, they don't score a single point. They actually allow Miami and Jay Cutler, of all people, to score 20 unanswered points to take a 20-17 lead. But wait, it's not over. There's still time on the clock. Matt Ryan takes his team down the field. They get inside the 30-yard line with about 30 seconds left. And all you want to do at this point, one thing that you don't want to do is not turn the ball over. And
Absolutely.
give yourself a chance to tie the game, give your fans a chance to watch you guys win maybe in overtime. They come out of a timeout. He throws the ball. Intercepted. Miami seals the game right there.
That was a shocker.
How are you not running the ball with Freeman in the backfield? Or just lining it up where the kicker prefers to kick and make sure that you have a chance to kick this, what's basically a chip shot field goal in the NFL. Maybe 45 yards, 43 yards. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Jay Cutler gets the W.
He gets the W.
So they're
On the
celebrating-
road in Atlanta.
Exactly.
So they're celebrating in Chicago.
They're doing the
Veal
fin
Cutler.
dance. They're
Veal
doing the fin
Cutlet.
dance. This weekend was another surprising weekend. I mean, I would have never thought the Giants were going to go in and upset Denver. That was
Again,
a big shocker.
another one. 13-point underdogs.
Did I see Brock Osweiler?
Yes,
back at
yes, you
Denver?
did.
Was my eyes
Lance,
deceiving me?
You weren't drinking heavily. That was really
I thought I was
the Osweiler
hallucinating.
out there because Simeon went out for a few plays in the second half, and yes, Brock did step in. But again, East Coast team traveling west at Mile High, prime time. They're missing Shepard. They're missing Odell Beckham. They're missing Brandon Marshall. They're 0-5. They haven't won a game yet.
No line. They
They're-
really don't have a great line.
No great line. So basically, Eli's a tackling dummy out there. Their running game's average at best, and they go into Denver and just beat the living pants off the Broncos. I don't get it.
Who would have thought?
I don't get it.
Eli is very concerned. He has a limited time left. He just wants one more Super Bowl than his big
He's
brother.
not getting
That's
another
all he
Super
cares
Bowl.
about.
He's a gunslinger.
He's not getting another Super Bowl. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that the product across the board, even I started watching the afternoon game, that Chargers Raiders game. I'm watching Carr and Phillip Rivers, two of the better quarterbacks in the league, just look terrible. If Amari Cooper drops another ball this year, they should just send him home.
Yeah, can we talk about that?
I don't
I've
get
never
it.
seen more fumbles in the league than
More
I've
fumbles,
seen.
more injury. Oh yeah, we haven't even
weekend,
spoken about the
right.
biggest story yesterday. Aaron Rodgers out for the year,
Oh, my
broken
goodness.
collarbone.
Devastated if you're a
So
Packer
far
fan.
this year, if you look at like superstar players, Julian Edelman, J.J. Watt, Odell Beckham Jr., now Brett Favre.
Fournette.
Did you say Brett Favre?
Fournette.
Oh, yeah,
Wait,
right,
Brett's
Fournette's
coming
out for
back?
the
Did
year.
you just say Brett Favre?
Wait.
I love it.
Oh,
Brett's
did I?
coming back.
Aaron Rodgers.
Brett Favre.
It's so funny. We were just talking about Favre before we came on the air. Aaron Rodgers, more injuries than I've ever seen, more sloppy play than I've ever seen, more drop balls than I've ever seen. Running backs that don't know how to hit a hole and get through or cut in or out. They make the wrong cuts all the time.
Out of the double-digit games that were played yesterday, aside from the Giants covering, of course, and winning,
Miami.
what were the other ones? Did they cover? What were the other double-digit?
Miami won outright. Didn't just cover as 11.5-point dogs. Won.
So we were talking last week about
Giants.
those double digits.
But
One.
I'm sure the Saints, that Saints game, what was that?
Saints covered.
game? They covered that. That was a 58 to.
Yeah.
That was
By
a
the way,
smash.
the total in that game was 50 points. They put up
52 to
90. They
38.
put up
Yeah.
90.
Saints beat the Lions 52
Oh, there's
to
another
38.
one. Matthew Stafford.
Stafford, what happened there?
He threw 3 picks, including 2 pick sixes. Come on, man. I know you don't have Megatron anymore, but give me a break.
I don't think the Saints defense is that great.
No, it's not. I agreed.
Right,
Oh,
right.
so here's what's interesting. Saints put up 52 points. Meanwhile, Drew Brees throws for 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Not really indicative of a 50-point performance. I don't know. I don't get it.
insane.
Meanwhile, Adrian Peterson,
Oh.
who New Orleans shipped off to Arizona,
Yep.
goes off for 134 and 2 touchdowns
2
yesterday.
touchdowns, first touchdown.
Good
in the
job,
first
Sean
drive.
Payton,
Yeah.
that you couldn't find a way to use this future Hall of Famer.
Could not find
Wait,
it.
Adrian Peterson's gone from the
From the
Saints.
Saints.
Where's he at now?
It was at the
Arizona.
Vikings.
Arizona.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Everything about this game just bothers me now. I can't watch a full game anymore. It doesn't even hold my interest. I get angry.
Well, you have ADD.
I do.
So, are there any games? I mean, my Bears won, amazingly enough,
I
beat
like
the
Oh,
Ravens.
John.
I like the Bears. By the way,
And-
Mitch Trubisky's first win as an NFL quarterback.
Mitch
You
Trubisky.
know what I love this year is all the new rookies coming in and making a difference. Deshaun
I agree.
Watson,
Oh,
Deshaun
by the way,
Watson.
who's been saying Deshaun Watson since the draft? This guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just set a new record for NFL rookie quarterbacks. 3 straight games with 3 touchdowns.
4 games over 30 points, right?
Correct.
That's
We're going to take our first
Correct.
commercial break. You're listening to Vegas Nonstop here on NBC Sports Radio 920 AM. Stay right where you are. That's all I have to do. I don't know why the camera went sideways on us.
Did it go sideways again?
Well, so now I've got to do it vertical instead of horizontal.
Oh,
So-
you know, there's a setting on your phone. Wait a minute. There's a setting.
well, now we're already into it.
It's one of these. Is that it? The screen.
I don't know. I mean, it's done it before.
There's a
But
setting. There's a
creative
setting
here.
on your phone. Well, let me ask you a question. When you go to one of your other apps, like
Everybody else says it's fine now this way, but I can't get everybody.
with messages though, but like
Yeah.
with like if you're on messages, can you
Yeah,
turn it like that
Yeah.
and it'll
yeah,
flip?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
we
go to
can-
my Facebook again and see if it shows up now that you've
Sideways?
signed out of it.
Oh, now
Have
it's
you
now
shared
it's
it?
okay. Now it's
What?
Have you shared it?
I shared
Yeah,
it.
see, I had to go vertical with it. So if you push share,
I'm sharing.
you're shared.
I thought I already shared it the first time.
Well, I killed it the first time because it was sideways.
Not that one?
Did you
Yeah,
have
so
to
I'm off of that.
Did you
I
have to
just killed it.
restart it?
Sideways? What?
But it was sideways.
No, Jonathan, if I
The
share
video
it,
was
I don't need to share it
sideways.
again.
Yeah, I don't understand. Where am I finding the new one,
Just leave
though?
it till we come back. Okay.
John, where do I find the new one?
Sign out of Facebook and go back in. You don't have to sign out. Just close the app and go back in. It should be there. Hi, everybody. Technical difficulties on Facebook Live. Okay, so now we're live. So that's the live one. And just share it and.
So now how do I get to live?
You can schedule an appointment online anytime.
Jeffrey just did it.
24/7 at ccdgp.com.
Right, so if you get out of Facebook,
I can't wait to talk to Josh. Is Josh on the line?
yeah, Josh is on
Oh, I
the
can't wait. I can't wait.
You got to talk baseball.
First of all, his Yankees are down 2-0. Secondly, you should have heard him screaming
There.
about his Ravens yesterday.
punch on that.
His Ravens.
Oh,
See
he's
who's in
just
it?
share.
Flip it out on
That's it.
Facebook.
Now this is live.
Flipping
We're
out on
live
Flocker.
here.
So
Wait.
turn on
So
whenever I'm on.
what's going on? Is Zeke's
Now you know.
out now.
What happened?
Zeke's,
Oh,
oh, we
I
didn't even
see.
talk about
Yeah,
that.
so
Zeke's
now
out
that's
for
it.
6
Hang
days.
on a little- I made
Jeffrey, how
myself-
does Lance share it? No, it's the right way.
Oh, is it the right
It's
way?
either way.
Now how do I share that?
Attending the wedding of Rattlesnake Dick, a womanizing
Rattlesnake
Rattlesnake.
It'll flip.
Rattlesnake dick.
I just
It just takes a
got that.
second.
Halloween murder
30.
dinner is on
30 seconds.
7 p.m. Doors open at
Where's your
6:30.
announcement for video?
I said Jonathan Scott's live.
Wait a minute.
Saw it.
I don't need to share it again, right, Jonathan?
Lowry's Las Vegas is located
Or
at
just go to mine, Lance.
Wait a minute. Let me do this. Let me do it again.
Koval and Paradise. Reservations are required. You can be
Because it should show me as live.
Yeah, it's right here,
Yeah, so
live.
click that.
Click
Now you
that.
should be able to share it.
Lowry's Prime Rib, Las Vegas.
Now, I can turn it sideways. It just takes a second.
7936. That's 702-497.
Lance, are you from Wisconsin?
Kentucky.
Kentucky from KY.
920 The Game is KBAD Las Vegas.
Write a comment. All right. I don't know how to share that, but wait a
Get it?
minute. I'm looking at it.
Wow.
Sure. Is it live?
Yeah, it's live. I don't know how to share it. We're trying to
Nobody.
share that. Hold on. Let me go back.
Jonathan Scott, Vegas nonstop here on NBC Sports Radio 920 AM. And yes, we are live. And joining us on the telephone, calling in former Major League Baseball pitcher Josh Towers. Josh, are you there with us?
Hi, Josh.
I think I'm okay. It's a typical Monday, though, so we've got technical difficulties in the studio, and I know Jeffrey's off on a rant, and he wants to get with you on Major League Baseball and the
I'm glad I
playoffs.
wasn't the only one ranting yesterday, Josh. Oh, you want to go there?
Yeah, I went. I'm sorry. Did it hurt?
What's that? I was actually referring. Yeah, they're barely alive. They're on life support. Let's see if CeCe can get him out of the hole today.
He needs headphones.
So, I mean, he did it in Cleveland. He's done it both times he's pitched. So we'll see what happens. They've been on life support the whole time. They've been hanging in by a thread.
So let me ask you this question, because you know I'm a Red Sox fan, you're a Yankee fan, you know how that goes back and forth. All my boys in New York, we were going back and forth. I can't imagine why, or I can't figure out why Girardi is still batting Judge in the 2-hole when he's been completely ineffective for the last 10 games.
Yeah, you know what? I've always said this about the Yankees. They've always been really good at not playing people just because they're getting paid a lot of money. They've always played them based on performance. But it's a little bit different this time with Judge. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure. They have a pretty good bench. They have like Holiday and other people that they can put in. I guess you're never really going to take his bat out of the lineup given what he can do. But I guess I see what you're saying. And I don't know if it has something to do with if he's protecting, people hitting behind Judge or in front of Judge, you're protecting him. Because if you put him 8 or 9, I'm still going to pitch him the same way. I'm not going to pitch him any differently. So it has to be something to do with the guys in front of him, behind him, getting better pitches. I mean, if Didi's going to hit that well right there and he's in front of him, then oh well, we got to leave it how it is.
Well, and that's what was confusing to me as well, Josh, because I'm not suggesting you take him out of the lineup or bat him 8 or 9. Although we saw Joe Torre do that with A-Rod a few years back in the playoffs. I think he hit him 7th or 8th. But you got to drop Judge down to the, I'm going to say 5 or 6 hole. And then right after Didi had that 2 home run performance in the 3 hole, he moves him down to 4. I don't get it. It's very confusing to me.
Yeah, no, I don't get it either sometimes, too. I mean, I told you, we walked into many clubhouses where you go to look at the lineup when you first get in and you just like, wow, what's going on here? Why is this defense on the field? Or why is this guy here? Or, hey, this guy went 3 for 4 yesterday. Why did they move him? I really don't know why managers do it. I don't know if it's just to spark something or... Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's really hard to say. I know people like protection. It's the only thing I keep going back to. But, when Didi goes 2 for 2 off Kluber, hits 2 bombs sitting in the 3 hole, I think that's a pretty comfortable spot for him. I might want to leave him.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I just don't get it. And the other thing I don't understand is the Yankees are setting all sorts of new records for strikeouts. They're playing a very, very talented team. I want my most productive guys at the top of the lineup to get something going.
I talked about this too. I think the strikeout thing is completely overrated. It's just like the home run thing. Why have records set in home runs this year? I think records may have been set in strikeouts. It just goes back to that vicious cycle of no one cares whether they put the ball in play. If they hit a home run, great. If they strike out, it's the same thing. So strikeouts are what they are. Judge, he's been setting records all year, so I think he just wanted to get that one out of the way in the first 3 games and go ahead and lock that strikeout record down. He did a pretty good job of that. You see how it is with him, man. He can't hit the ball away. That's hit away, which he's very good at. They're actually middle in. So the balls that are located down and away on corners, that start in the corners and slide off, or fastballs that stay there, he can't get to. And he's not making the adjustment to say, you know what, pitchers don't pitch in enough, and we don't pitch in consistently enough to where I have to worry about it. So if I were him and I was struggling, I would sell out the inside part of the plate and just live on the outside half.
Well, you're the one that always told me that Pedroia was the easiest out on the outside of the plate. So I'm gonna take your.
So I felt like for him,
Yeah.
and if I missed something middle in, then if he cheated, he got to it. And I just felt like he wasn't ever going to beat you away.
Let me ask you another question. Obviously, that game 2 was so exciting with Correa knocking in Altuve from first base. I gotta tell you, I think Altuve is the most exciting player in the game to watch. I love this kid.
When he was running, this kid's had over 200 hits in a season with all the other things that he's done. And on the opposite side, like we said,
defense.
What we're talking, he has never struck out 100 times in a year. The kid's absolutely amazing. That team's pretty exciting. You know me, I've been saying the Yankees are going to win the World Series the whole time, and I still hope they do. But on the flip side, how awesome would a Dodgers Houston Astros World Series be?
Now, on that relay play at the plate where the game ended, I know a lot of New Yorkers are coming down on Sanchez for not grabbing that ball because it was certainly there in time and he could have made the tag. Any thoughts on that other than he should have made it?
I thought about this ever since it happened. I thought about this. First off, short hops are really hard to pick. You're talking about catcher's gloves or full padding. They used to catch 95-mile-an-hour fastballs, man. The short hop ball is really hard to grab. Sanchez, because the ball beat him by 20, 30 feet. The throw's got to be either long hop or it's got to be better. But here's the thing, and this is what I've been thinking about. We work on relays all spring training. We work on PFPs all spring training. And when we go through the motions of these, we just get in position, we lob the ball land, we lob the ball to the catcher, and we move on. No one ever makes the full throw when we're working on it. We take it serious, but I never let the throw. All of a sudden, it shows up at a game where I got to relay the ball, and I have never fully made that throw. So all of a sudden, it's random. My brain knows exactly what to do, but my body's never really done it because we don't really go through it at 100 miles an hour. So I think that it needs to be taken more serious when we actually practice on it. And I also think that the relay throw was offline anyways. I mean, it's almost like they weren't going to go home with it. They expected him to stop at third base. Maybe he should have, but he caught them sleeping. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I got to relay this throw, and he wasn't prepared to do it.
You brought up some good points, and it's funny because I used to catch in high school, a little bit in college. You don't realize when you're on the ground like that to go pick up the ball how hard it is with a catcher's mitt. It's a very good point. And tell the listener what your PFPs are that you're practicing in spring training.
Yeah, pitcher's fielding practice, man. So all day we got nothing else to do, pass throwing. What do we throw for 15 minutes, and then we got some bullpens, and most of us don't have much to do, so we have to kill a couple hours. So we really just work on bunt plays, we work on comebackers, we work on turning double plays. Whatever pick plays we may or may not have, getting over to first base, double plays, all kinds of pitcher's fielding practices we work on religiously all spring training. So once again, it depends on the effort that you put in. The guys that actually take their time and actually want to improve on it, they're the defenders that they keep in the game. When there's a bunt situation, I'd rather have this pitcher on the mound because I know he can fill this position. So you see some of those starters go a little longer just based on their ability to fill their position.
Real quick, and we'll segue off of baseball into some football, but Charlie Morton, CC Sabathia today, you're telling me the Yankees are going to win this one?
140.
So I'll rephrase my question. Is there great value on the Astros plus 130?
I'd say no. I don't think Charlie Morton can pitch in the day at all.
Josh, it's Jonathan. I've got to ask you about my Cubbies. It looks like they've gone deep into their bullpen, and the pitching just looks tired. What do you think? You think we're going to have a shot?
I'm sorry, Jonathan's not wearing his headsets. He was asking you about the Cubbies. Didn't realize he was interrupting.
What was lacking in the game?
I agree. That's Wade Davis.
Enough runs or base runners that led to runs. Lackey, of all the guys in the world, Lackey should be coming in the game. These guys got to trust their bullpen. And if you guys really want to win the way you won in the regular season, let your starters go 6 innings, let them go 7 innings, and let your bullpen fill out. I think, and listen, I know the Cubs won the World Series last year.
Yes, he did.
Hey, Josh, this is Tanya. How are you? Hey, quick question. I know you're a big Ravens fan, big time. Can you tell us your thoughts on Joe Flacco? It's tough. It's tough.
I'll tell you what was so funny is I was ranting on Facebook yesterday watching the Patriots-Jets game and the horrible officiating and what was going on in Atlanta. And then I flip over and I see you're going off on Flacco. And I'm like, I'm with him, dude. I don't want to watch this game anymore. It's a bad product.
We're out. Hey,
And you almost pulled out the win. They came all the way back.
hey, Josh, but this is the good thing about the Niners. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. At least we're consistent. We are very consistent in the Bay.
Good.
I know, I hear you.
Hey, Josh, this is Lance Burton, and I'm retired now, but when I was doing my show, one of my favorite people to come in to see my show, and he came in several times, was Pete Rose. I just want to throw that out there and say I wish they would reinstate Pete Rose.
The energy level, the hustle. I mean, if you listen to him speak about the game, it's kind of eye-opening and on his thought. You know, he always tells these guys, if you ever want to get to my records, you might want to hope for extra innings. You might want to not take a day.
Wow.
So, I mean, you got to get those extra at-bats to be able to somehow get over 4,000.
Yeah, I hope they do too. He's a great guy, and I remember one time he came to my show, and people love him, and I introduced him in the audience, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, we have the greatest baseball player in the history of the game, and if you don't believe me, look at the stats. Pete Rose, and Pete, stand up, take a bow, and then after the show, he comes backstage, and he says, Lance, when you were introducing me, I started looking around. I thought Babe Ruth was in my
Josh, I want to thank you for calling in. We know you're busy. We've got to get you back in the studio before baseball's over. So we appreciate you.
Josh, miss you today, buddy.
Next time.
Great pitcher, Josh Towers. You're listening to Vegas Nonstop here on NBC Sports Radio. We're going to take another commercial break and come back with Lance Burton.
That's great.
Are you building your new
That's a
dream
true
home?
story.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm sure
He
it
said,
was.
I was looking around. I thought Babe Ruth was in
Do you
there.
have a Johnny Carson story to tell?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, I wanted to ask you before I put you on the spot.
Coincidentally,
Sure.
Pete Rose was here this morning.
So I'm doing a delivery
In
at
this very room.
Pete was here?
In this very room this morning.
I'm doing a delivery at Emerald's the other day at MGM.
Yeah.
And I see this beautiful black Phantom Rolls Royce parked outside, which you don't really see those kinds of cars there. And as I'm coming in, I'm talking to the security guard. He knows me. He says, yeah, I'm doing a quick delivery. I'm like, whose Phantom is that? He's like, I don't know. It's been there all morning. I pull up behind it. Hit King.
Yep.
It's Pete.
Apparently he's trying to do.
Charlie Hustle.
Apparently he's trying to put together a show with Jose Canseco. They recorded the first.
That's a name I haven't heard for years.
That's not a name you want to hear, and that's not a name that he wants to be affiliated with to do a
know.
baseball show.
Betting and spin.
I saw A-Rod on Shark Tank last night.
Oh,
Hey, Ross.
And then but did you see Ortiz school him
I don't.
on the desk
No.
of MLB the other day?
No.
So the Yankees had pulled out this great win, and it was a game-winning, clinching game against Cleveland. They go back to the studio. Frank Thomas, Keith Hernandez, Big Poppy, and A-Rod, and the commentator. And A-Rod's going
That's
on
funny.
Yankee this, Yankee that. He pulls
It's
out
not-
his
it's not here.
one World Series ring, starts shining it, and like being stupid. And Poppy's like, "Really, dude?" He's like, "You want me to go get my 3?" He goes, "I thought you've been there before." He just totally schooled him.
Well, that's.
He's such an asshole. I hate him. Even on Shark Tank last night, he's such a douche.
It's a
That's why
douchebag.
Douche
I
nozzle.
don't watch it. Don't watch.
Oh, here's a good name my buddy came up with this weekend. I hope I don't offend you.
No.
Twat Waffle. That's a good one.
I don't get
You're a
offended.
twat
It's
waffle.
not like this is
That's a
rocket
good one.
surgery.
By the way, he lives on the Cape.
It's not like we're doing rocket surgery.
You probably hung out with him in a bar in St. Louis.
Oh, there's
and had a
Taylor
beer.
Reed from Branson is watching this.
Who's that?
Oh, good.
Friend of mine. He lives in Branson.
What Branson?
Branson,
Missouri. Missouri.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Pete Branson.
I don't know where that is.
Branson, Missouri.
It's Vegas for Mormons.
So Lance, you still live Here in
A lot
Las
of
Vegas,
Andy
yes.
Williams, that's what.
Yeah.
You're still
This guy just say rattlesnake dick?
Yeah. The third time this
It's a murder mystery.
John and I caught that earlier. We were like,
It's his ad.
A little salt and pepper and ketchup, it's delicious.
What? You want to go into baseball out of the break?
I want to.
Oh, Lance, of course.
All right, I'll bring you up to
Did you
speed.
play sports growing up?
Very
played
badly.
baseball.
Very badly.
Come on. In the middle of the country?
Right.
That's baseball town, no?
Oh yeah, we played. I mean, just in the neighborhood. We played football. We played
Did you guys play
softball.
stickball at all or no?
We had a bat. We had an actual bat.
You did?
Yeah, just in the
Did you play
neighborhood.
stickball growing up? Like with a broomstick and a,
No.
and a tennis ball?
We always had a. We always
We
had a
had, like,
bat.
real-
I had a glove.
We have real sports equipment. So.
I was the first
Yeah,
baseman.
but with your friends, you play on the street, like after school, stickball in the yard.
Well, we'd have like wiffle bats and like fleece balls.
But I
You know what a
was
fleece ball is, right?
Yeah,
I
but you
was
can't
the
make it
first
move like you
baseman.
can a wiffle
were
ball.
you?
I had a first
Not
baseman's
wiffle ball,
mitt.
fleece ball.
So
Wow.
that was my
That thing
position.
goes
Yeah,
wild.
I love first base.
Yeah, I love.
Okay,
I love
sure.
playing first.
John and Scott with Vegas Nonstop here on NBC Sports Radio 920 AM, and we are back.
We are.
That was fast enough, wasn't it?
I don't know where we're back from.
we're back from commercial break. It doesn't seem like we take them, but we do. Monday Night Football at Sapphires on Sammy Davis Jr. Way's best place to watch Monday Night Football. Food, booze, big screens, prizes, and $1 lap dances at halftime. Woohoo!
Welcome to Las Vegas.
Welcome to Las Vegas, baby. Or tonight at the Classic Jewel, 353 East Bonneville. This is like the extreme opposite. Join our friend Isabella Ivy and Opera on Tap. Las Vegas in October at the Classic Jewel, 353 East Bonneville, as they present Opera on Tap, a greatest hits gala fundraiser at their favorite bar, the Classic Jewel. I've never been to the Classic Jewel, but sounds fun. Enjoy opera favorites from your favorite singers while you bid on exciting silent auction items. Portion of the funds raised are going to go towards the victims and families affected by the tragedy on October 1st. Kelly Clinton Holmes Open Mic Cabaret at the Bootlegger Bistro starts around 9 p.m. presenting talent new and old with music standards. Some of the best local talent in Las Vegas. Bootleggers on Las Vegas Boulevard South near Blue Diamond Road. On the other side of town, the Tap House Lounge presents its open mic night with a smoking hot live band, dancing, great casual dining. Tap House is on West Charleston around Jones. No cover charge at either open mic. Get there early. Composers Showcase is Wednesday at the Smith Center for the Performing Arts. I always say we finally have a cultural center here in Las Vegas that doesn't have stripper poles or slot machines, but we're working on it. The Shintas at the Plaza, Vinny Favorito at the Westgate, and I think that's what's happening around town. William Lance Burton, born March 10th, 1960 in Columbia, Kentucky, is a retired American stage magician. Lance performed more than 15,000 shows in Las Vegas for over 5 million people.
Wow.
2010, Lance ended his 31-year career. Lance became interested in magic at the age of 5. A volunteer at a magic show of a magician named Harry Collins during a Christmas party at the Frito-Lay plant where your mother worked.
Yes. Now, first of
This
all,
is Wikipedia, and it's never right.
Yeah,
So
my parents were from Columbia, Kentucky. I was born in Louisville, Kentucky,
and is that how you say it?
in a hospital. Louisville in a hospital. And the
In a hospital.
and the I did 15,000 shows. That's 5 million people. That only refers to my last gig.
So it's more than 5 million people?
Yeah, it's I have records for my last gig at the Monte Carlo Hotel. So we did over 5,000 shows there for over 5 million people. But in my whole time in Vegas, it has to be maybe 10 million or more.
wow.
Yeah, I was going to bring a deck of cards, but I forgot that along with most of my notes today.
The last
I thought you were
time-
going to do a magic trick with your hanky
Shocker.
on the break.
I want to get Lance's
He blew his nose.
There you go.
What?
Impressive.
Oh,
This is
I have.
impressive.
No, I have.
Autograph.
I have something better now.
Oh,
For the autograph, the last time I was here
yes.
I was doing the
Billy
world,
Toppet.
the world premiere of my family movie, my comedy called Billy Toppet, Master Magician. It was a fundraiser for the Shriners Hospital.
Oh, that was as well.
Which we're going to get to in a minute about
Yep.
the Shriners. But
Yep.
we were doing our world premiere at the Palms Hotel. Since then, I'll bring you up to speed.
Please.
We made our festival premiere. We were the closing night film at the Wild Rose Independent Film Festival in Des Moines, Iowa. We won the award for Best Family Film, along with 5 other awards. And it was just released last month on Amazon.
Ooh.
And is now available as a digital download or streaming or as a DVD. And
Did you bring us one, Lance?
Because
He's
he
got
goes-
presents.
Oh, I love guests that bring gifts.
I have
got
presents that
presents.
bring gifts.
Nice.
There is a DVD.
Wow.
For those of you near a computer, we also broadcast this show live on
Wow.
Facebook, so we're showing stuff as we're going.
So
This is the one that
Billy
you signed for
Toppin.
me.
There you, and it's for everyone.
Even
on
one
the
for
show.
Bobby.
thank you.
And there's a bunch of DVD extras in there also. So
Wow, thank you very
there's some
much.
deleted
So-
scenes, and there's a little teach a trick. and
Best
there's-
family film at the Wild Rose Independent Film
This is
Festival.
cool.
Now, this was a little autobiographical, wasn't it?
It's not autobiographical. It's fictional, but I do all the magic in the film.
As you
And
should.
You didn't get a stuntman for that?
I talked. They wanted too much money. I literally talked all of my friends into appearing in the movie for
Sure.
free.
Nice.
Yeah.
Chris Angel does
Oh,
a
yeah.
cameo. Louis Anderson does a cameo.
We need more butter.
He's
We need more
hilarious.
butter.
And on the
Love Louis.
DVD extra, there is an extra with Louis Anderson on here.
Love Louis.
where we were doing his scene, and after we had filmed it, I knew I had it. I went up to him. I said, Louis, we've got it. But he was. I could tell. Every time we did a take, he would throw a little joke in. And finally, after we got it, I said, Louis, we're going to do one more take, and this is for you. You do whatever you want, and I'll follow you. And Louis and I improvised for like 2 minutes, and he was hysterical. I couldn't use the whole thing in the film, but I included it as a DVD extra. And Louis is just
He is
fantastic.
hysterical.
Hey, Lance, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What was your most memorable show that you've ever done in all the years
Oh,
that you
geez,
performed?
that is really difficult to answer because we had so many exciting nights at the show. It was, it's a lot of them involved, people coming in that you admire. I remember we had just opened 1996 at the Monte Carlo. Bruce Willis came in with his little daughters, and they
Nice.
were
Rumor.
they were like 6, 7 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And I introduced him in the audience, and he stood up, and the audience went crazy. And his daughters were looking at him, going, "Daddy, where are you going? What's going on?"
I just saw him in a movie. I got a red box. It's something in Venice. It's called. In Venice, he plays a private detective.
I'm a big fan. I love.
I am
Bruce
too. I
Willis.
like
It was a lot of like his moonlighting role
That was a great show.
with Sybil Shepherd. It was the first show that he.
But they came backstage, but I'm you're used to seeing him in those action roles and the tough guy, but it was neat to see him as a father because he was there with the daughters and he was so sweet with these little girls, and they came backstage and he was like, no dear, don't touch that now. Mr. Burton has to do another
Very
show.
real.
Very real.
Like a real dad.
Now I was looking at a
Very
bunch of
sweet.
stuff before I got the Wikipedia, which is always wrong, and I and I looked at the video of the first time that you appeared on the Johnny Carson on Tonight Show.
Yes. October 28th, 1981. And
October 28, 1981. Correct.
Yes.
You won a copy of
I won
Billy
Billy
Toppin.
Toppin. Johnny Carson.
Andy. I guess you don't forget the first time you go on Carson.
That's right.
That's
Everyone remembers the date of their first Tonight Show.
I can't remember mine.
And Carson was very, very kind to me. And my act was 12 minutes long. They told
Wow.
me I couldn't do the whole act on the show, but to do it in rehearsal. And they would figure out what parts we were going to do on the broadcast. Johnny was watching the rehearsal, and right afterwards,
Well, he was a magician, wasn't he?
yeah, he came over and
Oh, I didn't know that.
was very nice. And then a few minutes later, the producer came over and said, Johnny was watching the rehearsal. Johnny said, "Let the kid do the whole act."
Fantastic.
How cool is that,
He
right?
personally intervened. So that was my. So what a great guy.
You know who else started
That was
as a
my line.
magician? I know that you're going to know. Steve Martin
Steve Martin did a comedy magic act. But he was
at Knott's
absolutely.
Berry Farm.
Yeah.
I always wanted to float. You know how the women fly in the
I always
air?
wanted
Yeah.
a pet
I
monkey.
think they call it levitating.
No, someone's called
Levitating,
levitating. I said float.
Have a few cocktails, you'll be floating.
I haven't even had a cocktail.
It's like football floats.
Exactly.
So Lance, since you've retired, I see you at almost every charitable event here in Las Vegas. So you're so socially community minded, and I applaud you for that. But you've got one coming up for the Shriners. So
Right.
And I remember the Shriners from Chicago, and they would have the big Shriners parade. And I just wanted to know what you have to do to get the Fez.
The Fez, you have. I think I'm not a Shriner. I think you have to join the organization.
I remember the Shriners, and I remember the Variety Club, which we just lost Monty Hall a couple
Yes.
of weeks ago.
Yes.
But Monty Hall, I think, pretty sure started the Variety Club.
Variety Children's Charity.
Right.
He was very involved in that. In fact, I sat with him at dinner a few years ago
Very nice
when
man.
they had the big Variety International meeting here in Las Vegas. But you know, what you just said is very important. You remember the Shriners as the guys with the Fez, and that's what a lot of people think. They're the guys with the funny hats
And
the
it
funny
squeezed into the little cars, yeah.
Exactly. But there's also a very serious issue behind all of that.
In the hospital.
There are 22 Shriners hospitals for children all around the country. They never turn any kid away for their ability to pay. So these are kids whose parents don't come from a lot of money, but have very serious issues, burns, orthopedic problems, and the Shriners treat these kids absolutely for free. And that's why they're always doing fundraisers to pay for the medical treatment for these kids. And we're having a big fundraiser for the Shriners in Las Vegas this weekend, Friday, Saturday,
Friday,
and
right?
Sunday.
And you're going to ride in on a pony?
It's the
And the horse you rode in on.
that is
My Little Pony.
that is to be determined. But it's the Shriners Circus, and it's at the Boulevard Mall, and they're doing 3 shows a day, 11 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. I'll be there Friday at the 3 p.m. show, and I'm going to go out in the center ring and welcome everyone. Now, I'm just going to show up and do whatever they ask me, but
Come
I
on.
may ride in on a pony. It may be an elephant, maybe a tiger. I don't know.
I thought I read that you're going to do a magic trick.
Well, maybe I'll do
might,
that too.
You might perform.
I don't know.
Now, last time you were here, you did a card trick, and I was going to bring some cards, and I forgot
Anything
the
could
cards. Anything could happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, I just always think that maybe you have something in your pocket.
Well, sure.
Yeah, see?
I
See, of
can
See,
course.
I,
In the pockets, right?
I had a feeling, you know.
Now, can you move the camera
Yeah.
around for people? I'll do this. I'll do
Yeah,
this.
do you want me to come close up?
Yeah, I will do this.
Oh, wow.
I'll do this for
We have
His
some live
magic
action
doesn't
going
work
on.
Tanya.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
here,
magic doesn't typically work well on radio.
Oh,
So
this
if you're
is
near a
great.
computer, go to Jonathan Scott LV.
Now, can you
For
see?
you folks at home, we have rabbits.
Can you see this? Can you see the rabbits over here, John?
Yes.
The little foam or
They're,
little.
Yeah.
they're not real rabbits,
It's a
Jonathan.
fuzzy bunny.
Yeah,
Fuzzy.
that's not real.
Fuzzy bunny.
They're just little foam.
Lance has a little fuzzy bunny, if
Just
I
make
could
sure
narrate
there's
it.
no- I'm
Oh yeah,
checking them out to
she's
make
checking
sure
out the rabbits. to
There's
make
nothing
sure
tricky.
there's no trap doors.
Okay, no trap doors.
Now, Tanya, hold your hand out.
Okay.
This is Peter Rabbit. This is his wife, Gladys.
Okay.
I'm going to hold on to Peter Rabbit. I want you to hold on to Gladys. Squeeze
Okay.
real tight. Peter's at the top of the hill. He wants to visit the wife, but he doesn't want the nosy neighbors to see him, so I have to make him invisible like this.
Wait.
He travels down the hill. He jumps into the rabbit hutch.
What
Wow.
on earth?
And now tell everyone what happened.
I witnessed this entire thing. So I was holding, can I say the wife bunny?
Yes.
While you had the male bunny.
Yes.
And we both closed our hands
Yes.
together, so we each had a bunny.
Yes.
You opened your hand, there was none in your hand,
And in
I
your
ended
hand,
up with two.
You had two. You had both
This is
bunnies.
crazy.
Now look, I'll do it backwards. We'll do it again. I'll make Peter
wait,
Rabbit
I
jump
need to
back.
look at your hand. Make
Okay.
sure
Here comes Peter
Now, hold-
Cottontail.
Okay.
Hold your hand out. Now you're going to hold both. Peter will jump out of your hand back into my
Okay.
hand. Okay, right? Squeeze real tight. Don't let go. I'm going to close my hand, and I want you to count to 10 out loud.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm joking. 4,
Wow.
5,
It's getting very
6,
fancy.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Did you feel anything happening?
I did not.
You did not. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, I know. You have to say the magic words. You have to say, Peter Rabbit, go to town.
Peter Rabbit, go to town, baby.
Oh,
Should I
she
open it?
added that baby. in
Baby.
there. Who
Should I
knows
open
what's
it?
happened now?
Make it
Slowly
free.
open your hand up.
It had babies!
Is that what they mean when they say multiplying faster
This
than
had
rabbits?
babies!
What happened?
Right
I don't
in my
understand.
hand.
What happened?
This is insane. There's 1, 2, 4 babies.
You have some fertile hands.
I have some very fertile hands. Maybe I should
Look
go
at
grow
you.
some gardens.
Some tomatoes.
That was amazing.
That was great, Lance.
That was
Lance
Wow.
Burton appearing this Friday to benefit the Shriners at Boulevard Mall, Friday, 3 p.m. We're going to take another short commercial break. You're listening to Vegas Nonstop here on NBC Sports Radio, 920 a.m. Stay right where you are.
That was amazing. Lance, how the hell did you do that?
Magic.
That's outstanding. You jumped 702,
He's a magic man.
768,
Yeah, Johnny Carson started doing magic.
5.
I remember reading in his book. Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
You know what I have at home?
That
You don't have at
was
home.
insane.
Several years ago,
I'm
I was
thinking.
attending the
That was crazy.
Los Angeles
Yeah, sure.
History Conference on Magic, and they presented to me
You know, I'm putting weight on.
a
and the
prop
seat
that
is
was
going
owned by
down.
Johnny
Trust me,
Carson.
it's not you.
I
When
can't
he
see
died,
how
he
these
had
are.
all of his magic equipment in his home in Malibu, and his
was
nephew
amazing.
Jeff inherited all that, and he didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
So he decided to give it away
comes
to some of the guys that were on the
Peter
show that Johnny liked. And so I got this magic prop from the 1940s that he used when he was a kid, and I have it at home.
That was insane.
I think it was the Great Carsoni.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he had a.
And he also played the drums.
Do that. That was outstanding.
Oh, thank you. You're very kind.
I'm shrinking.
Johnny also played the drums.
Yes, and he was he loved astronomy.
This hour goes.
Did he?
by
I didn't
so
know that about
He
him.
was one of these guys who just had a lot
Oh,
of
it's
interests.
amazing.
He was kind of a recluse. I mean, aside from not being on, kind of Letterman, I think it was kind of like that too. You were, I think, I remember seeing you on Dave when Dave had the magicians on.
Yeah,
Did
I
like
did
a whole
do- I
week
did
of
do
magicians.
What are we doing in the last segment?
What do you want to do?
We have some baseball to cover up. We have NBA starting tomorrow. We have some Vegas Golden Knights to discuss.
When is our game?
Discuss the Knights.
Do the Knights have a game coming up?
Big props. Yeah,
Isn't there a Monday Night Football game tonight?
There is a Monday night. There is a Monday night
Aren't the
football
Colts
game.
playing tonight?
The Colts are playing tonight.
Yeah,
We can discuss that.
Can I say that one of the
Who are the
Niners
Colts
got signed by
playing?
the Raiders
The
today?
Colts are playing.
Yes.
What happened?
Now, Luck is out now for the
He
season.
doesn't have any luck.
Yeah, no.
Well, it's not out for the season.
No,
but it's
Just
done.
he's just
For the
he's just
foreseeable
injured.
future.
Who's quarterback now?
Me.
Jacoby Brissett, the
It's
guy
not
who
you.
was
Former
third string for the
Patriots.
Patriots last year.
Third stringer.
Which
for the
guy?
Patriots.
Jacoby Brissett. He was
Mariota's
the
out
filling
as
guy
well.
when Brady was on
Who's Mariota's backup? I should know this. I don't know this. Darn it.
We don't know.
I only know if they had to learn how to spell Brissett. That's a long story. There is no E at the end. B-R-E-T-T. That's it.
What is it?
B-R-I-S-E-T-T.
Hey, you know what? I am really enjoying listening to Tony Romo do commentary.
He's
so
actually
It's
not
very
bad.
interesting and funny, and is
I haven't heard a bit of it. I'm busy working.
he is really good. I'm really
He's
enjoying.
He's not bad.
it.
He's not bad.
Because he's 'cause
Now they're
he's so
talking. Now they're talking about him going to the Packers.
All right,
Really?
here we
Go
go.
with Brett Favre.
bringing it back.
You're gonna have
Brett
about-
Favre again. That's what we
He's
need.
got
Brett
Brett.
Why you
Favre.
guys got me thinking about Brett Favre now?
Brett Favre.
Is Whedon?
But I'm
Yeah.
very impressed with Tony Romo as
I
the
mean,
Brandon Whedon.
as the
Whedon.
commentator.
I don't know if is Mariota playing tonight?
I don't think so.
And what about my Cubbies?
They're down 0-2.
I know.
I gotta tell you though, Houston Dodgers World Series is gonna be a lot of fun to watch.
I like that heavy metal shit.
Oh, here my cousin from
Coming back,
Boston's
right?
watching.
Oh, we can play Iron Maiden. I can go either way.
Hey, you want to
But we're
sign?
supposed
If you want to play DJ, you can tell them this is from the new Iron Maiden.
Sign the CD itself or
We're
something.
supposed to be coming back now, right?
Well, you got about 4 minutes. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we're coming back.
Like right now.
Where we go?
Jonathan Scott with Vegas Nonstop here on NBC Sports Radio 920 AM. We've got Master Magician Lance Burton here in the studio. We've got sports consultant Tanya Brennan, and of course my co-host Jeffrey with a G, line one, go ahead. So
What did the Englishman say?
live.
That was not mine.
So we've got a yeah, it was mine. My iPhone has taken on a life of its own now. It's because the new iPhone 8 is out, so I think the iPhone 7 is just planned obsolescence. We do have
What was that?
planned obsolescence. Is that a big word for me to
That's
use?
a big word. That's a 75-cent word.
I was gonna say it's a bigger word for me to understand.
Planned obsolescence. I don't know. We haven't had any really big words today.
Good.
Tennessee. In Tennessee, the Titans playing Indianapolis Colts. Tennessee getting minus 7.5, and the over and under is 49. Jeffrey with a G.
Updated line -7, 46.5.
Okay.
Obviously, the big story here is whether or not Marcus Mariota is going to play tonight.
It should be a backup of the backup quarterbacks. I mean, a game off of the backup quarterbacks.
Right. Now, the Colts have won 11 straight games against the Titans. So the fact that they're getting 7 and they've been playing better recently, I'll take the Colts here because I don't know what I'm getting from the Titans. Both teams are 2-3, both vying for spots in the same division.
I think Frank Gore is going to put some yardage on the board. I'm going to go with the Colts.
You're taking the
What
Colts.
the
I'm,
heck?
I'm taking the Colts too, I
Yep.
think. Yeah.
You're going to take the points?
I'm going to take the points.
So Frank Gore from the 49ers?
From the 49ers,
Is now with the Colts.
yes.
Somebody's got to put out a sheet of paper
So-
to tell me where everybody goes.
Yeah, Tanya does.
And we just released, the 49ers just released one of their star linebackers after
Why?
8 years with the team. And honestly, I think it's because the scheme has changed up a little bit on our team. So it's requiring the backs to run a little bit more. So he just got traded today to the Oakland Raiders, just across the bay. Signed
Wow.
for a 1-year contract for $3 million. Big loss for the Niners, in my opinion.
I'm sure the
but-
Raiders can use all the help they can get
Yes.
after losing to the lowly Chargers yesterday.
I think I'm going to go to Sapphires and have
Another
some
wonderfully
Bud
played
Light.
game in the NFL.
I have been drinking Bud
17-16.
Light tonight, Jeffrey, with a G.
I love Bud Light.
By the bucket.
You can get buckets of Bud Light all over town.
You can get it at the Westgate.
You can, and
Yeah.
they're delicious there.
I don't know where I'm going to watch
Served
it.
at a perfect 33 degrees.
I think I'll be there Thursday night. Not one of the better. Well, we got Kansas City against the Raiders, so it's only 2.5 in Oakland. I guess so.
Who's
The
favored by
Chiefs
two?
are
You
now
didn't tell
5-1.
me. You didn't say who was favored by 2.5.
Kansas City is favored by 2.5.
Yes, they are.
I agree. I think Kansas City, they have the Raiders numbers every year. The last couple of years, Raiders can't beat Kansas City Chiefs. I'm
Yeah,
going
is that
with
true?
Chiefs. Yep.
But keep in mind now that Kansas City was 5-0 until yesterday, and they were embarrassed at home by a very mediocre Pittsburgh Steelers team. I don't know what the score of that game was, 20-10. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Le'Veon Bell finally had his breakout game. Antonio Brown finally had his game. But don't sleep on the Chiefs. They'll take a week off and they will come back hard against the Raiders.
What's the status of the quarterback there at Pittsburgh? The
Big
Ben?
Ben?
Ben, yeah.
I don't know.
He's
Small
okay.
hands.
If he wants to play, doesn't want to play. He wants to play, doesn't want to play. I think he wants to play.
You know that Steeler game yesterday, they actually came in and held Kareem Hunt down to only 9 carries for 21 yards yesterday. So that was pretty impressive because he's outstanding.
It makes you wonder what Andy Reid's game plan was with Alex Smith. If you're not going to run on Pittsburgh, you've got a problem because they can't stop the run.
Well, I don't know.
Listen, guys, if you're a big fan of sports, you have a great night ahead of you. We have Game 3 of the ALCS, Yankees-Houston. Take Houston plus the 30 cents. It's a great bet right
When do
there.
my Cubs play again?
The Cubs aren't going to play until tomorrow, and they're going to send Hendrick on the mound. And I got to tell you, he's going up against Yu Darvish and the Dodgers, and that team looks too good to be stopped right now. I think we're going to see an Astros-Dodgers World Series.
It looked pretty tough. I want to thank our guest master magician Lance Burton.
Thank you so much for having me on. Everybody, come out this weekend to the Boulevard Mall, Shriners Circus. They're raising money for the Shriners to take the kids to the hospitals.
Great thing. Tanya Brennan, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, everybody. If you see us out, please buy us a drink. Say hello. Jeffrey with a G, as always. Eat well, party hard, my friends. Have a great week. Jonathan Scott, like us and share us.
Good show, guys.
Nice.
I gotta tell you,